Hello everybody, happy Sunday, it's Fanny. I hope you're having a great weekend. I wanted to stop by and say thank you Tony Robbins, thank you Dean, thank you Carissa for yesterday. That was incredible, amazing, like you guys crushed it. Carissa, what you said at the end, the story when you went to the Unleash the Power Within, that was just so beautiful, and everything, made me think a lot. And I think for so many people as well, we were really like moved by all the emotions and everything that it triggers, between us. Everybody, there were so many people in the group like crying, or all the stories coming back up. And I was thinking last night, and I was like, we always consider like self-development, like if there is something wrong with you, or at least in France, this is how we're kind of like, oh, I don't need self-development, everything's good in my life, or things like that. But it does not necessarily mean that things are wrong. It can be the opposite as well. Of course, being depressed is the worst. Like, this is what takes away all your forces. Even being angry at least give you like the fire and the energy to fight back. But being depressed and sad is just what takes away all of your energy, right? So that's why we need, like, every day, like Tony was saying, every day. It's all the time that you have to train yourself. And if you don't have like all the support around you, and maybe you have a group of supporting friends that every day they're like, yeah, do this, yeah, awesome, yeah, push it, oh, come on, do that better. Maybe you don't need it to be so much, but if you don't have all of that support, that's why all of these trainings there for, and but when you have amazing ideas as well, it's not just for when you're depressed, when you're super positive and you have so much energy and things that you want to share, that is also the best time to come and be part of the group, because we motivate each other. And I was thinking last night, how is it that so many people, when you start a transformational work, all these people remember, including myself, right? We're all like, have all our fears, all our questions, all this coming back, because it's not just a personal thing. It's on the collective level. It's something that's everybody on the society level, that is affecting us. So there is obviously something like the system. How much there is a lot more population now than they used to have before. Everything has transformed. We used to have more farms and local, with my grandma when I was a child, I used to go shopping in the morning. We would go walking to the bakery and buy our food every day, and more and more and more people have had to become more industrialized and a lot of that. But I think the entire system is not like necessarily prepared to have so many people on a global scale to be lifted up and supported. So of course we have support from the government and stuff like that, but this is why I'm so much into the self-education industry, because the new world is going to come from that. And yesterday I was in the chat and I was like, oh, we should have Tony for president. Like, I'm not into politics, and I see that some people, they are like, oh yes, that would be awesome. And I'm not into politics necessarily. I'm not too much into finances either, but I did just do a mastermind about crypto, right? And actually, I'm an artist. My masterminds that I have on the mastermind.com is about mandala painting, right? So I do this kind of art like that. So this is an artwork from my Journey to Love painting workshop. You see, and it's like Quechua letters and a symbol of peace and love in the middle. It's so beautiful, and it looks super simple when you see it. It's Dottism. It's a technique that really makes you have this introspection. Most of the time I'm painting when I'm watching the trainings, right? But I discovered over time that it unleashes, it opens up the pathway of creativity, of connection, and that it went so much further than just painting. you know, it's like connection, it's energy, it's how do you envision your relationship to others, how it created a community of all of our skills. And what's the beauty of the mastermind.com, right, the platform, is that there's people from all fields, right, that come and put their workshops there. And journey to love, and yeah, the training was so awesome because love, you know, love is the most important thing. Like, you can have everything going amazing, your business all great in your life, you still need to have love. You still need to find and give love. You know, this is what we all crave. So, and then when I see Tony and Dean and how they're, even Carissa, you know, how they're able to transmute all of our fear because they come from the people. They come from, you know, I'm making this video because the Close the Gap, right? When I saw Close the Gap challenge, and I was like, we always see the society as this gap between the 1% and the population, right? The elite group, the governments, the governments, all of that, and the rest of the people. But the Constitution starts with we the people, right? The world is us. And when I was seeing how, first off, how they are connected to the collective energy. For example, I'm talking to my son, and I'm talking to my son, and Tony is saying like the exact same thing. Like, we say like the same thing at the same time. And I'm like, wow, that is crazy. It's because they have this ability to connect with the audience, the people who are here. They feel your energy and they help you transmute it. And so many times when I'm like, oh, forget it, I'm not good enough, when I see the level of mastery, how amazing they are, and they crush it every time and stuff like that, I'm like, I can ever be good enough for that? And then I come back and they never give up on you. Like, they never give up on you. For years now, I've been following, 3 years, the trainings, and there is always an email like, hey, come back to this training, hey, and most of the time free. Like, Dean trained me for free for 2 years. Like, I was broke and I didn't have money to subscribe to all of the training. So when I could, I did, but for the most part, for 2 years, I was following the free trainings and the books, right? And little by little, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get the Better Life Journal. I'm gonna get the Project Next. When I started really feeling like I had a lot of material with my painting and I wanted to create something that's gonna stay, then I registered to do Project Next. And this is when I started seeing the work of Tony Robbins more in depth, right? And now starting following trainings, and this is what you get in. But even though for free, they do it, they give all the energy, and you can see it's because they love the people and because they want the society better. And then I was like, man, if our society would be ruled by people like that, this is when there would be a real change. And it's funny because, see, I took all these notes here in the journal last night, and the quote on the page that the quote is, it's not about being perfect, it's about effort. And when you bring that effort every single day, that's where transformation happens. That's how change occurs. Jillian Michaels. And I was like, imagine having this level of empowerment in the government, in the politics. And so it's been like 2 months. Every time they do a show, I'm like commenting, come on, you should do president, you know? Because yes, like I said, I'm an artist, I'm not a politician. But then you realize that life is not, you can't just have a politician being a politician, an economist being an economist, if they haven't seen anything else from life, because they won't understand. What I mean by that is that, for example, when I was doing my studies in France, I did this, after I graduated, I did this super high level, after I graduated high school. I did this super high level, Hippocane it's called. It's like elite literary politics like studies, right? Before I got into college. And I was in the last 5, I think. I was in the last 5 or in the last 6, yeah, of the class. I failed miserably. For me, that was passionating. I loved it. But I wasn't fitting in this because they were just like absorbing all the information, and it was like pages and stuff to read at super high speed, and that we have to deliver right on the paper. But then I was, I moved from my house from when I was like 17 or 18. I went to the city. I was in my own apartment and buying my own groceries, doing my own travels, making my food, all of that. And all these friends that were amazing. I made some good friends there, and they were super good and super smart. They were like super high smart. But they were like, oh yeah, my mom comes and brings me my food in the weekend. Oh yeah, my mom comes and she does my laundry, every weekend. And I was like, so, and I'm not making it general, it's just an idea that came to my mind, and I was like, so they're super knowledgeable, but they don't know what it is, the real life, So, of course, there are some people in the governments, I'm not criticizing, but what you need is not just people who have knowledge or experience into politics. Even though Tony Robbins, he's been training all the presidents, like the presidents call him to coach them, literally, because they know he comes from the people. He knows what the people want to hear and need also. Like Dean says, you don't always get what you want, but you get what you need. And what the country needs, that's it. How has it served us so far to have the politicians? I mean, I think the world is a little better nowadays than, I don't know. But like I said, there's so many people that the change is not going to come from the top. The change is going to come from the people. So we still need the structure. There will still be people. It's a little an utopia to say that there will be no longer like a government, because you still need to have people who make laws, and you still need to have law enforcement and stuff like that, because there are still people that are so triggered or in difficult situations, like I have been, like many of us have been. But if you don't have someone who is able to understand where this comes from and literally transmute it from the core, then it's never going to change. In one generation we can change it, but it starts with the heart. And when I see them, I'm like, oh my God, imagine having Tony, as a president, and like all the team, like people like that who empower, who listen, who understand. And there's not so many times that I have reactions. Anybody else, mostly when you grow up like that the slightest reaction, you're gonna have someone, the slightest negativity, you're gonna have someone who's gonna be like, throwing it back at your face. But they always, I've never seen them like talk bad about someone or trying to destroy someone. It's always in the kindness. I mean, that's impressive. For me, this is mastery. When you have the power to destroy someone and you choose to help them in kindness. So I'm not saying that, you have to be like, Mother Teresa. Yeah, of course we need Mother Teresa. We need like super kind people, but we also need some badass, right? Because there are some crazy stuff still happening in the world. So we need a perfect combination of both, right? So yeah, I wanted to launch that debate and see, what you think about it. At least launch this idea, and I'm gonna keep pushing it. What did I write? Love heals, love transforms, and when I watch them, I feel wiser and more powerful. So imagine this on a global scale. Do we want this? Yes. Do we want this as a part of our personal journey? Or do we want this for the entire system? Because yes, everybody comes to the event, they're all pumped up. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do my own growth. And of course, it starts with us. We have to start with us. But imagine your friends are striving as well. And like every time I share the events, and almost none of my friends reacts to it or registers. Some of them do, but mostly my French friends, they barely follow anymore, like the trainings. When I tell them, they're like, oh, but I'm like, but follow it, like you don't get it. It's like you have to. If we all transform like this, and they have other ways, you know. One of my friends is into Ayurveda, and it doesn't have to be a certain way, but if everybody does the effort on their personal scale, then it transforms everybody else. So that's why we have encouraged everybody to do it. Okay, mostly when you're not doing good, because when you let yourself go, this is when there are so many people, I think, that are just so easy to let yourself go, and that's what creates the gap. That's what creates the gap, right? And we want to close the gap. We want to bring people together, and only by solidarity and supporting. So I know that sounds like super simple and like repetitive, but this is just so important. That was just so beautiful. This week was amazing. And yes, yesterday I left a little earlier, and I wanted to come back just to make a video to say thank you for the time and the love. My God, I love you guys. It's so beautiful. And so I wanted to do a little card reading. See, I have my crystal, my crystal ball right now. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make like, what do we see for the future? What do we see for the future? The future is now. The future is now. And yes, some people were commenting, you know, enjoy the moment. Yes, I'm already thinking, oh, the election in 2 years. And yes, I'm enjoying. It doesn't mean I'm not enjoying this moment. I'm enjoying every part of it, even like meeting each other, discovering this world, connecting with new people, hearing new stories. You know, it's like it's a huge energy, right? But you also, the future is now. You know, the song was, I keep hearing that. The future is now. Enjoy the moment right now, but we are creating what's coming, you know. And like they were saying, where is this going? Where is this going? Are we gonna let Tony just retire? He said that was his last breakthrough challenge. Are we gonna let him go? No. Okay, he's gonna stay with us. We need him. We need you. And what's coming next is that we bring this to the world. We bring this to everybody. Okay? And sometimes, you know, I heard yesterday, oh, we want to change not from the Zoom, but from stuff that I saw on Instagram. Like, we want to change the government, but we still have a government. What would be the difference? The difference is that you just have to put the right people there. Okay, who trust each other. And like for me, I know that trust has been a huge thing. Like, huge. I wouldn't trust anybody, like even, you know, someone super nice to me. I'm like, ooh, that's suspicious, you know? And it took me like years to come here and tell you how much we can trust them. And yeah, like I said, for me to be doing like a political speech, it's that I really believe in them. And whoever is watching this, for what it's worth, people who know where you've been and where you can be, and mostly who never give up on you. Because we can all be heroes. Yes, that's what I love, is that it's always my brother and my sister, and we're all equal, and we can all be heroes. They make you realize what is your gift, what is the gem, you know, inside of you. And see, I have this little heart here, a little healing heart. It's funny because I got this beautiful, this crystal like here. There was like a hole right here, and literally, isn't it crazy, because I just got burned, and like the the burn is looks like exactly like that on the, looks exactly like this. It's like a heart like that. That's crazy. And the magic, the magic is happening. And through the art, through our crystals that is inside of us, we can manifest the reality. And our words are so powerful. I did this on my finger because I was like yelling at something, and then the energy got back to me, right? So being able to balance our emotions is the key, right? And for me, my balance, my catalyst, it's them. I watch a training and I'm pumped up again, and my friends, and sometimes one word, from a friend can change your entire day. And yes, so closing the gap, yes, the future is now. Yes, I think that's all I wanted to say. And so I invite you also to join my training, The Journey to Love, on mastermind.com. It's painting, and I explain more about another way also to do the self-development through the art, through the colors, through understanding the symbols. Like I said, the word is the key, because the word is the manifestation of your heart, right? What's in your heart is what you're going to send back to the world, and therefore the world you're going to create, and what's going to get back to you, but also to everybody else. So if we're a team able to bring through art, through business, because art is beautiful, but if you can't make a business or have a business around it to live, it's also hard to live off your passions, right? So we need all the aspects. And if you have a system that's not supportive, that I am so lucky, because I've had a lot of help, but it's not the case for everybody. I have friends that are in conditions that, how could the government help so much more? But because we are so many, so that's what we have to learn to help ourselves, right? Okay, so I'm gonna read a card from the Spirit Animal Oracle. That is very beautiful. I just got this a few weeks ago, because the spirit animals, we all have guides, angels, spirits. They manifest through different images all around us. Sometimes it's a sign that you see in the street, and we have sometimes an angel, and sometimes a spirit animal that connects to our personality, or that we need more of, right? For example, if you're all hyper sometimes, or if you're a spirit animal, if you're all hyper, sometimes you can have a turtle, comes to like tell you to relax and calm you down. Or sometimes you have the eagle that comes and like gives you a better overview of everything, have a better vision. Okay, so I'm pulling a few cards. I'm gonna pull 2 cards, 3 cards. Oh, this one again. The Nightingale Spirit. Love is all around. So I love this one because these little birds, they remind me of, the story of the hummingbird, how there is like a fire in a forest, and all the animals, they're escaping the fire because they feel it, right? When they're connected to the element. So they're running from the fire, and there's this little hummingbird that comes, and drop by drop, it comes and tries to turn off the fire, and all the animals tell, you're not going to be able to do it. Come, escape with us. It's like, yes, but if we don't try to change it and turn off the fire, then our home is going to be destroyed. And so in the initial story, the hummingbird just keep going drop by drop and finally turns off the fire, right? But then I was like, you know what a better story would be is that the hummingbird starts turning off the fire, and all the animals that are leaving, they see the hummingbirds doing it, and so they turn around and they come and helping, and so much faster they all turn off the fire, right? And that's kind of because the first moral of the story was that even if you feel small, even if you feel like something is way bigger than you, you can achieve it. But each one of us has a purpose and has an importance. But then in the second story, it's also the message of solidarity. You know, that together we are stronger and that we can do things much faster by allying together. Okay, so the nightingale, love is all around. And these are what? Flowers? It's like flowers, but they're flowers, but they sound like instruments. See, it's like a melody, it's like a music, like a story from the nature. Okay, and see, the little bird has a crown as well. Like I was saying, as small as you are, you can still have a message. You see how the notes, the music notes, they're flying with the wind. So you can still have a message. How beautiful it is when you're outside and you hear the sound of the birds, the music of the birds. It changes everything. Tiny little bird. Mouse spirit. Tend to the small things. That's funny. That's the same moral, right? The little things. The little things are part of it. Maybe what I'm doing right now, what we're all doing, we're all sharing our stories, and sometimes we feel like, oh, why am I even doing this? But no, we are all 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1. And maybe you're going to tell your story and one person is going to hear it. And it's not if you're watching this right now, it's not a coincidence. If you watched out of the hundreds and thousands of people who posted a video, I don't think you're going to have the time to watch all of them. But you're going to watch 1 or 2. Why these 2? Because these were the messages that you needed to hear at that moment. So when you're sharing your story, there is the right person who's going to listen to it and is going to speak to them, either because this is someone who's going to be able to help you, you're attracting them because they're going to bring you something that's going to help you, or you're going to bring them something that's going to make them think and evolve, feel better, you know, or at least think, resonate, align, frequency. Doesn't matter, but we're not just individuals, we're a collective. Tend to the small things. And I think the message also is, yes, the entire world, you know, seeing the entire world, but it's also, of course, not forgetting that the simple things matter. Every small thing, how you treat one person, how you treat your family. And this is why I admire so much Dean and Tony, because they have all the success, they have all the wisdom, they have all the network, everything, but how they still, you can tell how they're treating their family, how they're treating other people, and how they work, like the integrity in everything. So that what matters also, because only one person can change your day, you know. You see someone, like I was saying in one of my other videos, is wow, crazy. Wow, this is incredible. I was saying in another video, you can have like 1,000, hundreds of people support you, amazing comments, amazing feedback, solidarity. All it takes is like one person who's coming and be like, oh, look what you're doing, oh, blah, 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 oh, yeah. One attack, and that will ruin you. And you'd be like, oh man, I can't believe it. I know for me it does that because I care. about what people think. I care. I'm like, first off, I don't want to hurt someone. So that's why most of the time my insecurity and I run or I pull back, it's because I don't want to hurt people. And I'm like, so if there is a negative comment, it's because am I hurting someone? Where is the wrong, you know? And so it's also the balance between not just necessarily listening to what everybody says and not being affected by everything, otherwise it's going to suck your energy. But it's also being able to question yourself and listening, okay, why am I triggering this person? Why am I doing wrong? You know, sometimes you can be full of great intentions and without knowing you're hurting someone or you're making someone uncomfortable. So that's what I've learned also in my own journey, is that all the greatest intentions are not enough, because you also need to work together, you know, and understand each other. And see, the other card I'm pulling is the ant spirit. Time to collaborate with the puzzle. And you see, it's so funny because it's all like tiny animals. I'm pulling like, there could be all kind of animals. It's all tiny animals. You see the ant, the little mouse, the little tiniest bird, the size of a little flower like that. It's because, yeah, we are this in the universe. We are this. We're just a dust, a piece of dust in the universe, right? But at the same time, we're everything, because we are all connected, you know, to the greatness, the cosmos, all of that. So if you feel so little, look at what ants can do when they're working together. Like, it's crazy. This is how we're ants. When you look at the planet and how many people there are, like, we're little ants, you know, but we want to transform. We want to transform in our greatness as well. So I hope I get a great animal. I'm not saying that some animals are greater than others, but the owl, you see clearly now. The owl. Wow, the owl is like super noble animal. She even has a crown here. So the owl is an animal who like can see at night. She can see at night. She can turn her head 360, like she can see all around, right? She sees at night. She has super great vision. Yeah, let's read this one, because I know the owl is a super powerful symbol. You see clearly, yes. So awakening everybody, right? This is what the world needs. And it's also hard, you know, talking about politics again. We say we want the politicians to tell us the truth. You know, I'm a lot into aliens and the spirits, and I am personally convinced that we are in contact with other species, you know, from other worlds, that there are some, you know, on the planet, and that the governments are hiding it from us. And I also believe that it's not because they want to keep the power or they want to hide our lives specifically. It's to protect the world, because there would be a giant panic, because Hollywood movies for years, they've been putting this negative image of the ETs trying to come to destroy the world and stuff like that. So how would we react if we would finally, why do you think the military has created a space force? A space force, like it. If it's just to explore the universe, there is NASA, okay? If we need a space force, it's because there is relationships in the universe. So how do we tell everybody? How would we react? You know, it's already hard for us to, you know, like Obama, President Obama, in his, that was the presidential debate. I remember that it was kind of like there were many candidates, and they asked him, what would you do if, what was it? what would you do if we become in contact with other species, or something with the Area 51 and stuff like that? And with humor, I love Obama because he had a lot of humor, you know, it was lots of charisma and lots of humor. And he was like, well, I would end our people first, you know. And because it's true, because we have so many different cultures and religions and own like experiences, traumas, whatever, all of it, ideals, visions. It's already hard to agree, combine everybody together. So imagine how would people react. So, you know, I don't think the government necessarily lie to us because they think we're dumb. It's to protect also. It's to do a transition that's pacific and slowly and progressive, right? There are shows like Gaia TV where they talk about all of this stuff. But by educating, I feel educating each other is more of a smooth transition than if it's like an official huge announcement, right, from a government. Because when it's one by one, it's like you pick where you want the information. So one is become aware, and then another one is become aware, and then another one is become aware, and then all of us become more aware. Okay, our spirit. You see clearly now. Our spirit arrives to remind you that the wisdom within you is informed by your keen senses and the wisdom within the consciousness we all share. Even in the darkest night, the owl sees clearly and is guided by every sense it has, including the first sense of intuition. Yes. Right now, you know, I always call Tony and Dean and like all the masterminds like element masters, because they know the power of energy and they know how to translate it to us, you know, for us to believe in our intuition. And I always say you don't need to be super spiritual to succeed in life. There are some people who are like super successful because they believe in themselves naturally and they go to their goals and they do it naturally, right? And therefore they manifest. And sometimes you're super spiritual in the law of attraction, but you're so much in your higher chakra, in your spirituality, that you forget to be grounded and to manifest it. Okay, so it's a balance also, I think, in between both. But most believing in your intuition, believing in yourself is the first step, right? Right now, your sensitivities are turbocharged and you are receiving messages from all directions. Yeah, that's why this one, I wrote it before and I didn't do live because there was so much. I was like, if I do live, I'm going to panic and I'm going to forget everything. Our spirit reminds you to be wise and pay attention to what's between the lines, what is invisible to the naked eye, what cannot be heard with the ears, and what others may not be able to perceive. With all your senses aroused, you have much knowledge available to you. Clarity will come as you sit with all that you are sensing, allowing your intuition to guide you in understanding the whole and not just the parts. Yes. You see all these little animals? It's like the parts. We are all a piece of the puzzle. But we also need to understand and do this for the community. Okay? That's why and we need to inaugurate this in an official structure. Let your wisdom arise and be your guide as you trust the acuity of all your senses. Intuition is real and can provide the clarity you need to understand your situation right now. Your relationship, your finances, your job, whatever it is, you can see the truth clearly now. Protection message. Yes, because when you're an empath, and like I said the other day, if you watch my other videos, when you're a light worker, and like most of the people who are struggling, for me, most of the people who are in this group, who are drawn to the trainings, to Tony, who are drawn to self-development, but yet are still struggling in life, is because the system was not meant for the light workers, right? We had to be more grounded. We had to work the earth. We had to work produce, industry, all of this thing. We had to make our quality of life better. And now that our quality of life is better in a way that not everybody has it, but we have, it's possible. We have the technology, we have it. Now it's elevating into the spiritual and the thinking on how we can make everyone have it and have this comfort. It's not okay that some people are super comfortable and have all, and including myself, because I have a nice house, and and when I see people in Africa, little kids that are living like, you know, can't even barely go to school and or have food, I'm like, not just in Africa, even here in America, like, you know, when I moved to Peru, I mean, of course, I was like in a tiny room in like a, but it's okay, it's the stages of life as well. But some people will struggle all of their lives because the village, the environment, the thing is not favorable. And that's why when you register to the training, you're also contributing and giving to organization. Partnering is so important. But so you're an empath, and so right now you're more into your spirituality, and we need to be pushed to manifest, right? But sometimes when you're too open, you also attract all of the dramas of the world, you know. And it's also our role to transmute it, but we also need to learn to have protection, right? Like I said, if I'm sending a bad word out, it will come back to me. But I'm sorry, I'm not perfect. I'm a human, and I don't think a single one of us right here is perfect or has never like been mad or say things a wrong way. We all make mistakes, and it should not get back to us all the time. Sometimes you make a mistake, and the universe has the power to make it not vanish, but transmute it, right? Alchemize it. There are these like natural rituals where you're putting your intuition in the river. It's not like you're putting your trash in the water or your trash in the spiritual, right? Your thing in the nature is that nature is meant for it. She will renew it for you. The river, the flow of the energy of the river will transmute it, will heal it without necessarily having it getting back to you violently. Okay, so this is also a work that we need to learn to do with our environment and the elements. Learning that yes, we make mistakes and we shouldn't pay for them all of our life either, right? It's power of compassion and acceptance. Like, I learn a lot. I'm always with you guys, like forever, and I learn so much. I grow a lot. Are you feeling overwhelmed and overpowered by all that you are sensing? Yes. Are you highly sensitive right now and in information overload, feeling too much and taking in too much stimulation? It's good sometimes. The antidote for overwhelm is to become grounded and return to your safe nest, so wisdom can offer you clarity and guide you on managing the flow. Take a break to ground yourself in the reality of your everyday senses. Go for a walk in nature. Perhaps you can stop to lay on the ground, or hug a tree, or just stroll down the street beneath the soothing skies so that you can regroup and clear your energy field. Your wisdom and ability to make sense of all of you are feeling and experiencing will return as our spirit reminds you of your need to get clear. Yes. So, okay, I'm gonna do one more. The bat spirit. A birth, a rebirth is assured. You see, this one is upside down, like looking at things from a different angle. Also, yes, take things as they come, and progress also is take the time to become and enjoy the moment. The future is now. All right. Thank you guys. Oh my gosh, 40 minutes. I wanted to do just a 10 minutes video, but I hope someone watches it. Have a great Sunday. I can't wait for training tomorrow. I love you guys. I love you. Thank you so much, and see you soon. Bye bye.